Hello comrades, welcome back to Commander Brito-Ruskie-Ski, and today we are going to be reacting to real life lore why blocking these straits will start World War 3. Anyway comrades, if you want to recommend more videos for me to react to, make sure to comment down below. Join the memes competition where I allow you to pick one of my future videos that I will 100% do. So yes comrades, do that shit, subscribe, and let's begin.
This is a stretch of water that's only a tad more than 30 miles wide.
Okay, so we are talking about the Strait... Strait of Hormuz, I think? Or is it just the, Persian Strait?
So small that you couldn't even fit
It's one of them.
inside of it. And
Luxembourg!
These 30 miles make up the most important location to understand in the entire known universe.
Universe?
By controlling these 30 miles, you can effectively
What about the
close
sun?
entire world, and by closing them down, you can effectively destroy
Sorry, my
the
eyes
world. And this is why. The ocean spans most of our planet's surface, about 70% of it to be precise. In order to transport goods from one of Earth's many
Pasha,
continents,
Hawaii.
This vast ocean that takes up 70% of the planet has to be traveled across. And in the 21st century, there are many ways to do so. Simply using an airplane to fly across in mere hours might be how you choose to do it, but airplanes are expensive.
Yes, and cargo, right?
Heavy an object it is that you're moving. So when it comes to cargo, 80%
Cargo.
of the 21st century's global trade is still being carried out the way that it generally always has been for thousands of years now.
When will we discover fast as fuck and heavy planes? Tell me in the comments.
At any given normal
Scientists,
time, there are
engineers.
50,000 merchant vessels carrying as much as 6 million containers full of cargo and goods all across the world's oceans and between all the world's continents.
That's a lot.
These networks in streams of ships that
Oh shit.
you see moving in
Oh comrades, I will say there is not much going to Mongolia. I will say that.
lines across the world's surface here are the literal arteries that power the beating heart of the 21st century.
Greenland got no shit.
Unfortunately, the world's oceans aren't very easy to navigate through. The geographic
Not easy.
placement of the world's continents, islands, and land masses have created numerous natural choke points that these trade arteries have no other choice but to move through. And when these
Well, we got canals, right?
means, they can cause a veritable stroke upon the world economy. This is exactly what happened earlier this year. One of the most important.
Comrades, when it kind of took... When the Suez Canal was blocked.
The Suez Canal was blocked for several days when a cargo ship became...
That sailor better lost his license.
It blocked nearly $10 billion worth of global trade and caused widespread shipping and logistical delays across the entire world from North America to Australia. But there are other strategic maritime
Australia, you
across
bitch.
the world as well. The Panama Canal controls the flow of trade between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans across the American landmass. The Cape of Good Hope controls the flow of trade around the African continent. The Strait of Gibraltar controls the flow between the Mediterranean and the Atlantic. The Danish Strait between the Baltic and the North Sea.
And the Bosphorus Strait.
Turkish Straits between the Mediterranean
Turkish
and Black
Straits,
Sea, and the
okay.
Strait of Malacca between the Pacific and
Malacca. No one gives a shit about the Strait of Malacca.
However,
I'm
none
sorry.
of these are as important nor as dangerous as the Strait of Hormuz.
Hey, I guessed it.
Many critical reasons. First among them, it's the only possible way for ships to move back and forth between the Persian Gulf in the west and the Gulf of Oman in the east.
Yes, comrades, as we know, Iran, they're kind of a bitch, so they will cry.
Which then leads out to the greater global ocean. The Persian Gulf is particularly important for this equation, because 8 countries share some of its coastline. Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and Oman. And for
Let's be real, would it be bad if we blocked it? Oh no, that comes off as quite, you know.
4 of those countries, the only maritime access they have is within the Persian Gulf, which means that the 30-mile wide Strait of Hormuz is the only possible location they can pass through in order to access the world's oceans. And if you know anything at all about the Middle East and the Gulf countries, you know that they're pretty much all completely loaded in oil.
What about Russia and Venezuela? Don't they have a shit ton of oil
is
too?
part of what makes the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz especially so critically important. Oil is still the lifeblood of the modern world's economy. Around a third of our energy worldwide is produced
That's some
by
true
using
shit.
it every single
And
day.
it's sad.
Humanity consumes more than 9 million barrels of it. Oil is still by far the most common source of energy for human civilization in the 21st century. And as
You
a
serious?
renewable, it can't simply be produced. Oil is a resource that can only be extracted from where it already exists, and as it happens, it's not naturally found in too many parts of the world. Around the Persian Gulf Basin, across these
Shitty
oil
ads.
fields marked in green, you can find roughly half of the entire planet's proven reserves of oil.
Dinosaurs were just fucking in the Middle East, comrades. They were just all over that shit.
Including the single largest oil field in the world here in Saudi Arabia at Ghawar, which all on its alone
Wow, wow.
produces nearly 6% of the entire world's oil supply. There are dozens of
That's quite a bit.
fabulously rich oil fields here that stretch across all 8 of the countries that border the Persian Gulf. But that's not the only valuable resource that can be found here. Marked in red, you can also find roughly 40% of the world's proven reserves of natural gas. Natural gas is the world's 3rd most common source of energy, behind oil and coal, and more than a
Comrades, who still uses coal? Come on now.
energy is produced by using it.
That's a shit ton, comrades. Middle East is lucky as shit, comrades.
And according to British Petroleum, Iran
British?
is the world's largest reserves of natural gas. Between all of these combined reserves, there is more oil and natural gas in the seas of the Persian Gulf and the land immediately surrounding it than anywhere else on the planet Earth. Since 1/3 of all the world's oil production is currently taking place around the Gulf, and 1/3 of the world's energy is powered by oil, and since a further 1/5 of natural gas production takes place around the Gulf, and about 1/5 of the world's energy is powered by gas,
What?
it can
These
therefore be
numbers.
said that about 15% of the entire planet's energy supply comes from around the Persian Gulf, and largely behind the Strait of Hormuz.
See, comrades, they don't have this shit in Ukraine.
This is why the 30 miles of water here is so insanely
Yeah, I
important.
understand
Thus,
now.
Roughly 15% of all the energy that humanity is
So what if we drained the Gulf of Oman?
collectively consuming right now largely has no other choice but to pass through it. No other choke point in the 21st century's global transportation network can come anywhere even close to that level of critical importance.
That's some
and
big
it
shit.
doesn't help that navigating through it is pretty geographically difficult. There are 8 major islands located inside of the strait which must be avoided by any ships, 7 of which are de facto controlled by Iran.
Iran?
These 3 strategically placed ones are contested by the United Arab Emirates, but the Iranian military has occupied them since the 1970s, so they're effectively controlled by
Iran is a bitch.
These areas of water highlighted are too shallow for any tanker to traverse, while these areas separately highlighted have very limited visibility due to the obstructions from islands and land. Dust storms, morning fog, and haze can all make visibility within the strait even more challenging and are
You know, and I don't think sailors in Iraq are the most skilled as well. So this could be quite a big problem.
common events here in the summer months. The UN has established a special traffic separation scheme for tankers and other ships to take while traveling through to avoid the most risk. This scheme consists of only 2 2-mile-wide shipping lanes, one for incoming and another for outgoing traffic, while each is only separated by a 2-mile-wide buffer zone. The whole route travels through
That
Iranian
seems
and
smart,
Omani and Omani
but might be
territorial waters at various
retarded.
times, and all of the world's largest ships must pass through them, and limited capability to avoid any unexpected obstructions that might or might not crop up. The overwhelming majority of all the oil that flows out of the Gulf travels toward East Asia, 76% of it.
There's
And
quite a lot
most
of people
that
living there,
travels
so I
to
see why.
5 countries. China is the world's largest importer of petroleum,
course.
and the world's 2nd largest economy, and is heavily dependent on the oil flow coming out from the Strait of Hormuz.
So you're saying we could fuck up China if we just got rid of the Strait of Hormuz?
Because it imports about 40%
Comrades, I'm just saying, you got to weigh the good and the bad.
Persian Gulf. Japan, the world's 3rd largest economy, is even more critically dependent and addicted. Infamously barren of most
Japan
natural
is quite
resources that
addicted
are
to a lot
required for
of
an
bad
industrial
things.
Society. Japan has always been forced to seek them out abroad and away from their home islands. At times through war, while at other times through trade. Currently,
Yes, because they got beaten badly.
they rely on trade, while oil and liquefied natural gas power more than 60% of Japan's energy needs.
That's a
Nearly
shit ton,
100%
I think.
of all of it is imported, and nearly 80% of that is transported by tankers from the Persian Gulf and through the Strait of Hormuz.
Sorry, comrades, I'm just
Therefore,
checking if I'm
nearly
recording.
Half of Japan's energy, the fuel that powers the world's 3rd largest economy, has to travel through the 30 miles of water at the Strait of Hormuz.
Wow,
and South
that's a
Korea,
shit
the world's
ton.
10th largest global economy, has similar dependencies.
Ah, ad.
Students with ADHD.
Students with ADHD. Fuck off, comrade. No one gives a shit about you.
They import nearly 70% of their oil from the Persian Gulf states. And since oil powers more than 40% of their energy needs, nearly 1/3 of South Korea's energy supplies also have no other choice but to be delivered by tankers that are...
See, comrades, all these Koreans, Chinese, Japanese, you need to calm your shit.
Ever to be obstructed or shut down for very long, the world's 2nd, 3rd, and 10th largest economies would immediately come to a screeching halt. The primary source of revenue for all 8 countries around the Persian Gulf would also immediately dry up, and the ripple effect from there would almost certainly crash the entire global economy. And in that event, there aren't many options for getting the oil and natural gas around the strait.
You gotta drive it.
does have a crude oil and liquefied natural gas pipeline that they can use to transport limited amounts from the rich fields around the Persian Gulf over to their ports on the Red Sea, while the United Arab Emirates has a similar pipeline that they can use to transport further limited amounts to the other side of their country on the Gulf of Oman.
Comrades, all these sheiks in Dubai, comrades, give your money to help the government.
And away from the Strait of Hormuz, but these amounts are all limited, while Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Iraq possess no such ability. At a maximum, it's believed that these pipelines can only divert about 20% of the oil coming out of the Persian Gulf around the Strait of Hormuz. And building any more oil pipeline infrastructure is expensive. All of this means...
What if the Somali pirates help us? Oh no, imagine Somali pilots. Oh no.
World for the global economy to function smoothly. And as a result, it's attracted considerable attention of countless empires and foreign powers from the outside.
British.
Most notably, the United States.
Oh yes, US as well.
Dozens of bases across Oman, the UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain.
I'm surprised the US just has that.
7 of the 8 countries around the Gulf, save for Iran. This includes
Bulgaria
and Qatar, and the United States' 5th Fleet being further headquartered within Bahrain, which is generally composed of more than 15,000 sailors.
Imagine letting American troops into your country. Could never be me.
Dozens of other vessels, and between them and the Air Force Base, countless aircraft. As the current largest single source for all of humanity's energy, all of this presence in the area from the United States is generally in place to ensure that the oil continues flowing. And to counter Iran's influence over on the other side of the strait, the United States and Iran have had no official diplomatic relations for more than 40 years now, since 1980.
Yeah, but because Iran's a pussy.
The straits have been continuously tense. In the event of a war breaking out, Iran has made numerous threats over the years to close the Strait of Hormuz from there.
As if they could actually do anything, comrades. Iran is the biggest shit token in world history, comrades. Now look, I don't support America, comrades. As a Russian, I do not support America. But Iran, shut the fuck up. Comrades, you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna block off the strait, comrades. No, you won't. You would not. You're a bitch.
Over to Oman, which, if successful, would shatter the world economy. And that's enough of a threat to always make America or any other foreign power think twice. But Iran's capability to do that is realistically pretty limited.
Exactly.
While the military is powerful, America's is a lot more powerful. And the presence of the 5th Fleet so close by in Bahrain would almost guarantee American naval and air superiority almost immediately across the entire strait.
Boom. Exactly, comrades. Shit. Okay, comrades, just found out OBS stopped recording halfway through because of storage shit, comrades. But yes, the video, very good, comrades. I will say, it's a very interesting topic, comrades, but also the fact that I found out Iran is the biggest shit token on the planet, comrades. Iran acts like they can do so much shit, comrades, but you really can't. And then we also found out Iraq is even more shit. Comrades, we found out a lot of reasons why the Middle East is shit, as well as East Asia, comrades. So I see this as a win. Anyway, comrades, I hope you all enjoyed. I am sick and kind of tired, so I don't know if I was as energetic. But yes, comrades, leave a like, subscribe, and make sure to let communism strike again.